Ahoy there folks, I'm Captain Benzie and welcome back to another video for Helldivers 2. In today's video I want to talk about some of the lessons I've learned early on to give a really good head start for any of you who are hot dropping into this absolute beast of a game. I have put out a couple of other videos about Helldivers, but if you want to see me make more, please take that moment to hit like, drop a comment down below, and consider subscribing to the channel. All of that really helps me out and lets me know that you're interested in this kind of content. So with that said and done, let's jump right in. Now, first of all, I want to talk about what I think is one of the greatest loadouts for starting off in Helldivers 2, a loadout that has absolutely carried me for the start of the game. Now, before we talk about exactly what those loadouts are, I need to just make sure you're aware of how to even unlock additional loadouts. So between missions, when you're back on your Super Destroyer, come across to the ship management panel here on the left-hand side, open this up and head to stratagems. Now, stratagems are paid for using requisitions. These can be earned via completing missions and sometimes can be found on the ground as well in the various different bunkers or just lying around. They're worth getting as many of these as possible so that you can start to unlock these different requisitions. Now, some of them do also require a certain level. At the bottom of the screen here, you can say that this particular stratagem, the flamethrower, becomes unlocked at level 10. The two that we're going to be taking a look at are right the way down here, the grenade launcher and the supply pack. Both of these become unlocked by the time you reach level 5, so unfortunately you are going to have to just kind of suck it up for those first few levels. Now, the grenade launcher is kind of the first part of this. This is an absolutely bonkers good weapon for you to unlock early on. Essentially, it can fire at full auto various explosives, and these are brilliant at taking down some of the heavy armored targets. They're excellent if your aim isn't particularly good, because as long as you hit something nearby, the blast will probably take out a load of stuff as well, which means they're also useful in swarms, and you, as shown in the demonstration here, you can also use them to close bug holes or shut down the big buildings that you shoot for the cyborgs. I forget what they're called off the top of my head. This essentially makes the grenade launcher an incredibly versatile weapon that actually allows you to kind of make up for not necessarily being particularly agile on your feet when it comes to your aim or trying to choose a weapon for a specific situation. It is an incredibly good generic weapon that is going to be great against hordes of smaller enemies and also deals massive damage to larger ones as well. Yes, there are better options for each of those particular things, but the grenade launcher allows you to do both, and you don't even have to worry about your standard grenades when it comes to closing bug holes, etc., because you can do that. Now, as a word of caution, the grenade launcher can obviously cause friendly fire. If you are trying to shoot something that is right up in your face and you shoot it with a grenade launcher, that is going to deal damage to you and all your friends around you as well. So do bear that in mind, because I have killed a few of my friends more than a few times with this one, but that's just how the grenade launcher kind of goes. Now, ultimately, the grenade launcher itself, you have to cool this down at the start of a mission and then add it as your secondary support weapon, your third weapon, so to speak. And it does have, obviously, very limited ammunition. You can carry 2 reloads as standard, and I think each of those is about 8 shots. This is where the supply pack comes in. Now, the supply backpack has this interesting sort of thing to it, that when you see it here, it talks about how you are supplying fellow Helldivers and distributing boxes to other players. Now, that initially at first led me to believe that this was purely a support thing, that you would only ever use this in a team so that you could kind of give ammunition to your friends. The thing is, if you have this equipped, you can press 5 if you're using keyboard or mouse, or down on your D-pad to use it on yourself. Now, that means when I drop into a mission, I drop down a grenade launcher and a supply pack immediately. I equip both of those. I can then go ham with the grenade launcher, and once I have used my last reload, I can press down on the D-pad and supply pack myself 2 additional reloads of this, which is just bonkers good. It is just bonkers good. I don't even have to worry about actually resupplying my fellow Helldivers. In fact, I will do this so frequently that essentially I've usually used all 4 boxes just about the time that I have the supply pack come off cooldown. And if you do want to take this to the next level, you can come across to your ship modules, and we are looking for, where is it on this list here? Gone right to the bottom, there it is. We're looking for basically the donation access license, streamlined request process, and hand carts. These are going to reduce the cooldowns of those two, and they will deploy with the maximum number of carryable magazines. I do strongly recommend getting the donation access license straight away. This is where you're going to be using your samples. It's common samples for the base one, common and rare for the second tier, and common, rare, and the advanced materials for the third and final one. But that donation access license is so useful because that grenade launcher comes down with full ammunition to it. And then the streamlined request process means you can pull down another grenade launcher a little bit quicker. So if you do use a little bit of ammunition, you can just pull down another one, right? If you're out of the supply pack stuff already. Hand carts will then make it so that the supply pack can come down that little bit faster too, which just means you get to go ham that little bit more. I absolutely adore this loadout. I think this is bonkers good. I think it is just a really good loadout. It's going to help you, well, basically carry you through the early levels because it's so versatile, it's powerful. If you're going up against the cyborgs, for example, the ATST chicken walkers that you get, you just hit one of these, a grenade launcher anywhere near it and it'll kill it. When it comes to some of the bigger things like the chargers, the grenade launcher does massive amounts of damage, and if you are pummeling all of this into them, anything nearby is going to be taking damage as well. Bonkers good. Strongly recommend that you check this loadout out ASAP. Now, just as a final point here, what would I add in beyond this? Because obviously that's 2 of my 4 requisition slots. What else would I add in? Well, personally, I think early on, going with something like a machine gun sentry or a Gatling sentry can be really useful. You can chuck one of these down off to the side and have it just chew through enemy hordes. Your grenade launcher can then pull down other things if you are surrounded. The Gatling sentry is just going to help take the pressure off you, which I think is really useful in those earlier missions when you're still getting used to what you need to shoot at, when you need to shoot at it, and learning how to deal with enemies. Being able to drop a Gatling sentry down just gives you basically an additional player in your fire team, and that is always a good thing, and I love using the Gatling sentry. The downtime on these is that longer cooldown time, 180 seconds, and that's why for my second of the 2, I go all the way into the hangar here, and I use the standard Eagle strafing run. I do have the airstrike unlocked, but I actually prefer the strafing run. It's got 3 uses before it has to resupply, and again, you can go into your ship modules and you can actually upgrade this as well so that they go a little bit faster. But it's really easy to use. Your input to call this down is just upright right, which is really quick to just tap in the middle of combat and then drop it down on something for some additional firepower. Yes, the airstrike technically does more damage, but it's got 2 charges. I can pull down 3 of these really quickly, whereas I can only pull down 2 of those before I have to go through the whole resupply side of things. So for me, I tend to use the grenade launcher, the supply pack, the airstrike, and the Gatling turret, and that has carried me through these lower tiers really quickly. Anyway, folks, that's about it for today's video. Give this a go. Let me know how you find this. I think this is a bonkers good loadout that is just really useful to start with. It's not going to win you every single game. There are going to be better loadouts later on, but whilst you are learning how the game works, the intricacies of various different things, then this is going to help take some of the pressure off and just allow you to go a little bit easier on yourself. I find it just carries you that little bit. Let me know what your preferred loadout is, though, in the comment section down below, and do remember that channel memberships are now open, so you can head across to that, join the channel, and get yourself a load of really cool, unique perks. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching this one right the way through to the end, happy sailing, and see you all planet side.